Hello, my friend. This is the session 1 from the KNX Basic course. I'm going to record it at August 2021. Thanks for watching. The chapters that we are going to cover from the basic book is based on the standard ones that you are going to do the exam based on it. So you have 2 exams. One of them is a theoretical one, so I will activate it after the course will be finished. You will do the exam online through your KNX.org, and later I will send you the exam which is practical, and you do the practical ones with KNX Virtual and send me the project file, and I will pass your course. That's it. So I mean the topics that we are going to cover it is the standard one, and you should learn it. Of course, some of them are boring, like the chapter 1, and but it is important for the exam. Anyway, so KNX. So what is the KNX Association? The brief outline. It's coming from 1990. Okay, so it's quite old. In this association, from the beginning, was named as a EIB, and later in 1999 it is merged with BCI from France and EHS from Netherlands. Okay, and then in 2006 is the it's called KNX. There are some goals that KNX are following. KNX Association. So what is the goals for KNX Association? It's promoting the KNX technology. So day by day, the technology that is related to KNX protocol is going to develop. Remember that, okay? So in fact, for example, the KNX Association is responsible for ETS. So in next 2 months, the ETS 6 will be released. Okay, so this is some development that is provided by the KNX based on the market needs. Okay, so the market needs better software for configuration and troubleshooting, so the KNX make it. Okay, remember that about the task of the KNX Association. Or another task is adding, for example, the KNX Secure. The KNX Secure is going to prohibit any penetration from outside of the system. Okay, so it is going to secure the system against any penetration, like in IP media or TP media or RF media. Okay, so the KNX Association is working, remember that, to promote KNX technology. The next one is the KNX Association is going to define a new truly open standard. So when we call open standard, what it means, it doesn't mean that every systems in the world, I mean the smart home or smart building systems in the world will be integrated with KNX. No, it says if the products that you pick up from the table and there is a KNX logo on it, so you will be assured that you can make the integration for this device with another device with KNX logo. Okay, so maybe some devices is made by the ABB, some device is made by the Schneider Electric or Siemens or many other manufacturers. There is any problem for the manufacturer name. You can integrate the devices from different manufacturers, but with the same logo KNX on it. And then another, so this is open. So now, for example, like 400 or 500 manufacturers make the devices based on KNX, so it's like open. Okay, it's not any closed anymore. So what is a closed protocol? For example, like, I don't know, many Chinese products are closed protocol, or some protocol in Europe. some devices in Europe is closed protocol. If you have something from Betecino, it's only related to the Betecino. If you have something related to Clipsal from Australia, it's only related to Australia, Clipsal from Australia. You cannot integrate with any other device. Otherwise, you have the gateway, okay? For example, we have the gateway between Clipsal to KNX, or we have the gateway from Betecino to KNX, of course. Anyway, so establishing the KNX threat mount as a token for quality and multi-vendor interworking. Multi-vendor interworking, I already mentioned it. And about the quality, because when the manufacturer sends the devices to the KNX lab, we have some KNX labs in Europe. So after the manufacturing any devices, you should, as a KNX member or manufacturer, you should send your device to this lab, and they're going to test it if it's working as if it's working as integrity concerns, and they check for the quality. Yeah, quality, because it should pass some tests, some standards. So this KNX logo on a device not only make you assured that you can integrate this device with other devices with KNX logo, also you can assure about the quality. It's quite acceptable, even for Chinese products. Yeah, of course the German products is so much better from other products in the world for KNX devices, but yeah, any second and third level of the manufacturers in the world, also with KNX logo, you can rely on it, but you should be aware, you should be cautious about it. Yeah, remember that. Anyway, establishing the KNX as a European and worldwide standard. For European, yes, it is already established. For worldwide, I can say it is it has a good market and attraction in Middle East, yeah, in some part of Asia, like China, for example, and some other places in the world. For example, North America do not follow KNX almost, okay? Some very rare integration. So you can consider it as a European and some part of the world. Activities of the KNX Association, you can read it by yourself. It's not so much deal about it. First of all, the ETS, Engineering Tool System software, that is a Unix software that you are going to integrate the devices of the KNX from different manufacturers, is made by the KNX Association. Okay, it's developed and it's supported by the KNX Association. If you have any questions, you can send your email to support@knx.org and they are going to reply you. I hope so. So they sell these ETS and so on. Apart from these big activities from KNX Association, of course, they manage the KNX members who manufactures data. They are going to participate in different exhibition and so fairs and similars as marketing activities, and they manage the KNX training centers as we are, and also they manage the KNX labs and many other related things like KNX group from different places of the world and many other things. Okay, so as a technical part, I can say they are responsible for ETS, they are responsible for KNX protocol development, and they manage the KNX members as the manufacturers and related organizations like training center, labs, and so on. This is the activity of the KNX. When you see the KNX product, you will be assured that this product passed some standards, okay, like ISO, like ANSI, ASHRAE, and so on. So you can see which standards is presented by KNX logo. Yeah, you can surf on it. In B4 in exam, they're going to ask some question from this part, but nowadays I rarely see any questions from this part. Anyway, the next part is KNX different compared to conventional technology. Okay, so it's interesting part. It says in compared to conventional wiring, the KNX is so much easy for wiring. Why? Okay, if you go to the ABB KNX part website, it provides you nice information about KNX. It's one of the best places for training. Anyway, so you can see the green cable of the KNX can be done with three type of topology. One is the linear one. It means the KNX cable is coming to behind of any devices or to the devices, KNX devices I mean, and then going to another devices and another device as a linear cable. Also you can make it as a tree, okay, tree wire. You can make it as a star wiring and your KNX devices to control lights, HVAC, shutter, and similars can be connected in a star one. And also you can do it as a tree wiring. I mean, the tree wiring is combination of the linear and star wiring. So some part is like the star, some part is like the linear, and you can do it in combination. So what it brings for us, it's we can eliminate the KNX wiring in a building. And for example, if you use the star wiring, you should spend so much wire, okay? So in a server-based system, in the centralized system in B4, they only use the star wiring. For example, if you want to configure the RTI from USA, you should use the star wiring, okay? So it provides you so much wiring. But if you use the tree, okay, you can go out from the electrical cabinet to the first sensor, and then to the next sensor, and then to the next sensor. And for example, you go to the some sensors in a room, and there's 2 or 3 sensors. You can use the star over there, okay? So overall, you use so much, you use less wiring compared to other protocols. Remember that the ring wiring, it's prohibited in KNX. I mean, you cannot use it at all, okay? Remember that. You should not ring the KNX wiring. Okay. So the amount of cabling is considerably reduced when bus devices are arranged in decentralized way. So our devices is arranged in decentralized way in 3 topology. I mentioned that. So what it means in decentralized, every devices in KNX has their own microcontroller, okay? So there's no need for any server, okay? So you can configure the devices and connect it to each other without any necessary connection to the server, okay? And use different topology. And then the next things is with the KNX wiring, you can reach the the numerous number of possible system functions. So nowadays, apart from light, control of the light, HVAC, sound, media, and blah 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 with KNX devices from different manufacturers, of course, for example, you can measure the energy consuming, you can connect to the TV, you can do whatever you want. So there are numerous number of possible system functions with KNX devices, because some manufacturers make the light controller, some manufacturers make the mini server, some manufacturers connect the KNX to the, for example, Alexa, some manufacturers connect the KNX to the Sonos sound systems, okay? So, and then because you can integrate different devices from different manufacturers in the same software, you can reach the many possible system functions. Okay, improvement of transparency of the installation. It is important because, you know, in ETS we have the building tab. Okay, in the building page you can perform your physical configuration of your building. Okay, so later you can, if you have, for example, 1000 devices in your project, you can know this sensor is installed in floor number 2, in room number 3, okay, and so on. So you have the nice transparency. It means later you can understand your projects very easily by the ETS or by the ETS report. Okay, remember that. It's nice, yes, ETS it's nice, but of course it's not so much easy in compared to some other software from other manufacturers, but it's quite acceptable ones. Okay, this green cable, KNX green cable, connects the actuator sensors and controllers, so it sends and receives data from this cable, and it power up the bus coupling unit for each devices with a voltage between 21 to 29 volt DC. Yes, and so you use a pair of wire, I mean the red and black in a cover of the green, to send and receive data and power up the KNX devices. Okay, so in other devices from other protocols, in many cases these two parts is separated, but in KNX both of them is the same one. Okay, of course you see the KNX cable, this is the KNX cable, and most of the time we use the red and black wire to connect the devices to each other. Okay, next part is how you configure the KNX devices. There is two types of configuration. There is the one configuration is S, this is system mode, and one is easy mode. Most of the time in a project we use the S. Okay, so the system mode. What is the system mode? The devices which when they leave the factory, there is no any application program on it. The physical address is 15.15.255, and you should have your PC, some computer inside with the ETS installed and with the interface, USB interface or IP interface, connect to the system, connect to the bus, and configure it. Okay, this is a system mode. So you configure the project from very scratch. But in easy mode, it says it's easy mode. There's no need for any computer or PC and similars. So you can only implement some regulations. For example, you press the number 1 channel for some time, some seconds, and then it's start to blinking, and you can learn this channel to some sensors, okay, some keypad on a wall. So there is no need for any computer to configure the easy mode. But as I said, the most popularity of the devices in S mode. Okay, some devices are in S and easy mode. It's interesting. It means you can configure the device without using any computer. Of course, later you can use the computer and use the ETS application of the device and configure it. Some LTE mode devices is some sort of this type. For example, the Synco 700 from the Siemens. Yes, the Synco 700 from the Siemens, you can see there is a knob There is a LCD on a controller. This controller has a digital analog input output to control, for example, the air handling unit, the boiler, the pump station system, and so on. Okay, so you can go to the project, select your heating system by this knob, set it, make it work, and that's it. It's start working, and use the closed loop controller to control everything. But later, if you want to have it in a PC, you can use the ETS database of this device. You can use the ETS software on a PC and configure it in an ETS and download it. Okay, so we have different type of configuration. During this course, we only focus on S-mode devices. For easy mode devices, some manufacturers make it, like Siemens has it, like Gevis from Italy, as I remember, like the Bush Jaeger, I think, and similars. And Hager, yeah, they have the easy mode devices. And there are different media in KNX. What media we have? TP, twisted pair, okay? The media that we use, the KNX twisted pair cable, the green one with the pair of the black and red. There is RF radio frequency with 868 megahertz, and also the IP, Internet Protocol. So we have different media in KNX. KNX over IP, KNX over RF, and KNX over TP. Okay. So in this course, we are going to mention the twisted pair and a little bit radio frequency RF, and in advanced course, we cover the IP ones. So this cable, green cable twisted pair, is going to use in new installation. Okay, there's a new project. We use the TP. It's very cheap, very reliable, and quite flexible. Extensive renovation, some renovation that is renovate everything. And when you need the highest level of transmission reliability, okay, because maybe in wireless you miss some data, but in the TP you never miss data, almost never. Yeah, if your bus is very face the heavy traffic, maybe you miss. Yeah. Anyway, for RF, the radio frequency only used when no cables can installed. Okay. But nowadays, some manufacturers are going to provide more RF devices. Of course, some RF devices that is energy harvesting, and there is no need for battery systems. So, because many projects, especially the small projects, because in smart buildings we have the small project. The small project is like the smart home, smart office. Okay, so maybe RF is something more flexible. The IP is used in a large installation where a fast backbone is needed. Of course, in a large installation, you should use the IP, and for communication with mobile devices. But nowadays, apart from the devices for IP, like the, I can say, like the IP interface and IP router, some devices, some actuators, for example, coming with the IP port. Yeah. For example, this KNX IP Multi IO 580 from Wenzel from Germany. It's provided with the direct IP output. Yeah, it's nice, huh? IP interface, it's inside of it. Of course, it's a KNX input-output devices, some actuators, digital input-output, and it provides the communication with KNX over IP. Yeah, remember that the future belongs to the IP, for sure, the near future. Okay, so let's go to the rest of the chapter, the KNX Seeker. We are going to cover the KNX Seeker in advanced course for sure, but remember that What provides for us the KNX Tutor? If the device is equipped with KNX Tutor, no one can penetrate the system and change the setting of that devices or read the packet of data from that devices, which is called telegram, and so on. Okay, so the KNX Tutor secure the system against any penetration. Remember that. Nowadays, over the KNX over IP, we use the KNX secures. Of course, we have the secure in TP, but I'm sure that in future many devices in KNX TP also equipped with KNX secure. So if you want to know more, you can go to the KNX website or wait until the KNX advanced course. We will cover it. Okay, now the KNX here tell about the success of the KNX. You can read it. It's quite interesting. Then this chapters is mention of the interworking. I already said you can interwork the devices from different manufacturers, but with the KNX logo on it. You use the one single configuration tools, that is the ETS. I already mentioned that. We are going to cover it in this course, of course. We have the wide range of KNX products from different manufacturers. Of course, we have it. I said about it. Energy efficiency. Oh, backward compatibility. Backward compatibility, it means if you have the project in ETS 4, you can open it in ETS 5 and handle it. Okay? So it has the backward compatibility. Then the KNX solution, the solution based on KNX can provide you the energy efficiency. Okay, so you can equip the consumers from the lighting systems, HVAC systems, and so on, and then depend those devices with time function, with the presence of the people, depends through some logic output and so on, and then you can provide the energy efficiency solutions. Higher degree of convenience. Remember that. So when you equip the equip some building with the smart systems, in most of the time you lose the convenience because the user maybe do not understand the systems. One of the big job of us, I mean the system integrator or designer of the system, is to design some systems that provide the convenience environment for the users. It is really important and it is hard to reach it. Okay, so it's based on your experience, based on your reading of the books, of the other experience. So you should design some systems that provide the convenience for the people. Okay, if for example the user entered the room and see the keypad on a wall with 10 buttons, so what the user should do for that, it's confusing, really confusing. So in a design phase, you should provide some easy interface for the user. Okay, something that user can comprehend it very easy. It's one of the things. Or convenience. You should use the systems, for example, to increase the security of your building. Okay, you should use it. Of course you can use it, but in design phase and in configuration phase, you should spend so much time to provide the scenarios or to provide solution that increase the security of the systems. Then if the people feel that the security of the systems increase, they feel more convenience in that building. Okay, so it's quite hard. It's in one paragraph in a book. It seems easy, but it's quite hard in performance, of course. Okay, the KNX application examples. You can read it by yourself. It doesn't have any big deal, but you can see with the devices with the KNX protocol, you can control the light on, off, dimmer, dolly, DMX, blah blah blah. You can control the blind and shutter inside and outside of the building. You can provide the security system burglar alarm systems, or you can communicate with other burglar alarm systems, for example from other manufacturers like Paradox or similars. You can provide the energy management scenarios. You can read the energy usage, power. You can use the calorimeter for cold and hot water supply of the HVAC systems. You can control all type of the HVACs inside of the room and in mechanical room. Okay, inside the room like the fan coil, radiator, floor heating, or in mechanical room like the boiler, chiller, and air handling unit. You can use the KNX devices to monitor whole of the building. Have some remote control from outside. Of course, the metering, I already said about it. Audio video control, yeah, the media control. There are many solutions in KNX. But remember that most of the KNX devices is going to provide you the full control of the building and reduce the energy usage. Okay, it is less popular in audio video control, but there are many solutions over there, of course. And provide some control to the home appliances in KNX. For example, some home appliances, I know that there are something to control it like the directly in KNX, like Siemens or Miele from Germany, and also there are some gateway or some mini servers from new manufacturers, new small manufacturers in the world that provide you the IoT, and you can connect with other home appliances from different manufacturers. You should read it about it and investigate it in the market. So here there are some, I can say there are some examples of using the smart system in a room, like the leave scenario. Turn light off, close the shutter, close the water supply, and so on. Or in a meeting room, in a conference room, provide some special artificial light, like dim the light to 15%, start the audio system, move the blind of the PowerPoint, and projector systems, and so on, with only press one button. Remote control of the system, control of the system from outside, and gets the notification by the email or telephone. Nowadays the telephone is almost vanished. Most of the notification is going through the email. In a large conference room or large open office, you can use the KNX. For example, use the presence sensors on a ceiling to divide the big open office to different areas, and to control the light and HVAC depends on the presence of the people in that room. Okay, use the panic button. If somebody feel panic, press the button and turn the some lights for some time, like 15 minutes, and call the police, for example, in a very teeny tiny way. You can use the KNX devices like KNX thermostat in a room to perform the many solutions to reduce the energy usage. You can simulate of the presence of the people in a small relay to somehow deceive the thief. Okay, so if somebody wants to penetrate the building, see the light is on and off, the shutter is moving, and he or she thinks somebody is in a building and do not penetrate it. And then the energy consumption or energy reducing energy scenarios, you can implement it with KNX devices. Okay, for example, you have the dormitory, and then you eliminate each room with 21 degrees Celsius in winter. Okay, but if somebody come to the room and use the electrical heater for their rooms and increase the temperature of the room to 27, so you cannot, you as an admin, you cannot save the energy. You lose the electrical energy. Then you can equip each socket power with the energy meter in that dormitory. And if somebody use more than specific amount, you can disconnect it automatically. Okay, with this way you can reduce the energy use. Of course, you with the KNX devices and some gateway, you can communicate the KNX through the Alexa or Google Voice or Siri from Apple. Yeah, you can do that. At the end, the book said, if you want to make the quotation for the customer, okay, try to emphasize on the benefits of the system that customer get it after the installation. Okay, there's no need to go to the very specific technical things, to the customer. It is important. And then if the list of materials is getting so much expensive, you should use the alternative options for the customer. For example, some keypad in KNX, it is about, so for example, let's see, for example, for example, the tactile keypad from the KNX, from the ABB, is quite expensive. For example, this one, you can use it as a four channel, on-off, upside, downside the blinds, and on-off. That's it. Okay. This four, it's maybe this keypad is about 250 euro. Okay. Instead of this four, you can use the ABB universal input. Yeah. So the ABB universal input has four, and it is about like 70 euro. But you should connect it to some conventional keypad and connect it to the KNX bus. Okay, so you use some alternative way to reduce the price in a building. And if, for example, you use too much dimmer in a building, it's getting expensive. You can replace it with on-off, and you can reduce the money. For example, for each dimmer, the customer should spend 100 euro, and for each on-off, the customer should spend between 10 to 20 euro, okay, maybe 20 euro. So it's quite cheaper, the on-off solution. So you should, as a system integrator, as a designer, you should always be ready to change the design to make the customer happy with the list of material and pay for that. Thank you so much for listening. This is the end of the chapter 1, and I will come back with chapter 2 soon. Have a good day. Thanks.